Hi, good afternoon, everybody. I hope everybody's having a good week. I'm just out here trying to do my thing. Not sure exactly what that is, but working on it pretty hard. Today I sat there and I actually made a list of things that are going on in the sports world right now that makes it a pretty exciting week in the sports world, at least to me. And as I look at this, and I'm going to take my paper here and read it, but it's the end of the season for college basketball, both the men's and the women's. And I think that everyone would agree that the women's basketball season this year was probably as exciting and as uncharacteristically exciting as any basketball season we've had in forever, or at least since the 1970s with Cheryl Miller, or whenever it was that Cheryl Miller came around. And then you have the men's basketball, which was an exciting time, exciting games, but just didn't have the star power that Caitlin Clark seemed to have on this time. So but then you have the beginning of the playoffs coming up very shortly in pro basketball. And that's going to be a pretty exciting time for them too. But that's going to stretch out here. I mean, we got 3 or 4 or 5 rounds of 5 and 7 game playoffs before we get to the actual final series. So that's going to be going into June, July by the time it all gets done. So it's going to start the second season for pro basketball, but it's going to go on a long time. And you got golf. I mean, we got the Masters this week. I mean, gosh, that is as exciting as it gets for professional golf. I mean, you have the Live Tour guys who are being able to play with the actual PGA Tour guys, and they don't seem to be mad at each other this year, which I kind of find that interesting because they certainly are two separate worlds that they're trying to do. But I think the golf world has realized that the only way that they're really going to survive is to have everybody working together on that. And then you have the NFL draft, which is coming up here in a couple of weeks, which means we're getting all the mock drafts and we're getting all the pundits on TV and the radio who are trying to say who's going to go where and who's going to trade up and who's going to do this. And of course, none of that really matters. It's just people talking at this particular point in time until the actual draft happens and we see what happens. But still an exciting time. And then you got hockey, which is just about to start its Stanley Cup season, which is just about as long as the basketball, maybe even longer. And that will go on forever. And in all honesty, once your hometown team goes away on that, it tends to be not as exciting as some of the other sports to me. Now, if you're a real hockey fan, and there's a lot of them around, everything I just said in that last 15 seconds is absolutely false. So go with that. And then you have Major League Baseball and minor league baseball. Minor league baseball season has started, and that's really an exciting time. You sit there with that, you have inexpensive games that you can go watch. You have people that are just, one injury away from maybe a home run, a couple home runs in a week to be called up to the major leagues. Exciting time. So you really got to look forward to that. And the Major League Baseball season itself, so different than it used to be. I mean, it used to be a common occurrence that a pitcher was going to go 7 to 9 innings, and he was going to have every time he went out on the mound, he was expecting to go 9 innings and have a complete game. And now, if a pitcher has 3 or 4 complete games in a whole season, that's a big deal. Really different than it used to be. So, what am I trying to talk about here? Well, as I sit here as a sports fan, I am a spectator sports fan. I like to watch sports. I like to watch the ones that matter. I like to watch the Masters. I like to watch the other tournaments as they go on. I like to watch nearly everything I just talked about. A little hazy on hockey, but I still like to watch it. And I didn't even mention soccer. And you got the soccer season going on, growth in the United States, but now we have access on a weekly basis, on a daily basis. We have access to the Bundesliga, and we have the Premier League in Europe and England, and that takes us into the very top ranks of soccer. And you can see the difference between what we play here in the United States and what they play over there. And it's kind of like AAA to major leagues. There is a difference. So, regardless, that's a full rant. I have no idea what I was trying to say there other than the fact it's a good month to be a sports fan. So hopefully you all enjoy this. And if you didn't enjoy it, well, please don't tell anybody. But go down below, subscribe, listen to it, do whatever you need to do. Really would like to get the numbers up here a little bit. So thanks a lot for listening. Tune in here later next time I drop one of these, and you'll get to hear a little bit of the rants of GW because that's who I am. I'm GW. Take care. And if you're still on here, I dropped my mouse, so I had to go down to pick that up to be able to turn this off.